All right, good evening and welcome to Futbol En Vivo on Club Deportes Season 2, Episode 26. We are every week on clubdeportes.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, or X, at Futbol Austin, Futbol Austin. Be sure to follow Club Deportes at Club Deportes for all the latest and greatest sports news and commentary. Well, you have to go to the website that insists Carataro was robbed. That's clubdeportes.com. I am your host, Eric McCoy, and I am joined by a man who enjoys going to Haymaker on Sunday mornings to watch lacrosse. It's David Alvarez.
Watch lacrosse. Well,
you were the one person there watching that lacrosse game.
I was watching the lacrosse game,
TV,
and there was some baseball highlights too next to it.
Yeah, you were watching anything but the Chelsea-Liverpool game.
Well, to be
right?
fair, lacrosse is a little more interesting than Chelsea.
Oh, Jorge, a new dawn is upon us, man. A new dawn is upon us.
Yeah, a new dawn.
This season, optimism abounds.
Start of the season. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I am also joined by a man unsure of what to do with himself this week since Austin FC didn't trade away any fan favorite players. It's Jorge Chavez.
Well, it's still not the end of the day. So
yeah, well, that's true. There's still time.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Transfer window is closed, so it would be something if someone did leave.
They can sign somebody off the street, by the way, so out of contract. So
here's your chance, David.
Hey, I'm available.
You're out of contract.
Hey,
right?
no, actually, I got offered to play over 50.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, MLS is generally an under 50 league.
Austin F Senior Pro is what we're talking
And
about?
I say the only way I would play if I score a penalty with my left.
Oh.
And that would be my last game.
And then you retire.
retire.
You mentioned that yesterday. We were at Haymaker, and you did mention that that's what you would do.
That's what I wanted to do, retire after scoring with my left, a penalty. Hopefully on a final.
Well, keep us updated, man. We're very intrigued on that.
Yes.
Okay, slow news week this week, and that's not being facetious. It genuinely was a slow news week.
Very little news.
No one was traded. No games happened. We're still, close to a week away from the next.
No fan meltdown this week.
No fan meltdown. But here's what I'm looking for inspiration as far as what we could talk about. Inspiration landed in my inbox in the form of the Verde All Day newsletter by a friend of the show, Phil West.
Yes.
So some unfortunate news in the Austin FC world this past week was the striker going on hiatus. I think it was officially announced.
That's the official designation.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen, but at this point, a real bummer not to have the striker consistently in our lives. That was I was a paid subscriber.
I was too.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. I probably read every match report that Chris Bills and Phil West wrote. Absolutely loved those guys.
Yeah.
Victor Ariza does the Houston content on there. It was really good. I enjoyed Sam Jones, Atlanta United writer. John Arnold did some writing for them. A lot of great stuff.
But they're still writing, right?
They're still writing on their own. We ask you to please follow them as well. But the guys out of NLAFC, Galaxy, they were about to start with Atlanta United, but it was unfortunate that it all fell through.
Yeah, any kind of just thoughts in general before we get into we're going to Phil West his initial column on Verde All Day. Follow him on Substack. Yes. It is well worth it. Excellent stuff so far. But we're going to get to the free agents, basically. Austin FC has some free agent decisions coming up, so that's going to be our Austin FC.
Because the salary came out and everything,
Yeah, absolutely. But just in general, we'll start with you, Jorge. Just kind of your thoughts on the striker and just kind of their role in the Austin FC community over these last couple of years.
Well, I mean, obviously, this endeavor was started by Phil West and Chris Bills, very excellent writers, and for reasons not to be discussed here, Chris Bills left the Striker about a year ago, went back home, I believe, and then Phil took over. And excellent news. I think we pretty much consensus. We read it every time a column came out.
Absolutely.
And so it was a great magazine. It was a great magazine, if you call it that. We got a lot of information, a lot of insider type of information as well. So we're not gonna lose that because like you mentioned, Phil West still has a Substack, but it's not gonna be as extensive Texas-wide, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is such a bummer. I think anytime you lose something that is soccer specific, because it makes such a difference when you have somebody talking about the sport that lives it and breathes it, like week in, week out. That's not like a baseball writer that's moonlighting as a soccer writer on the weekend.
They gave him the slot. If you will.
Exactly. Which unfortunately we're kind of headed towards in media, this kind of like sports generalist. Like if you look at like ESPN, all their layoffs, basically it's like, let's give Stephen A. Smith $60 billion and Stephen A. Smith will just talk about everything.
Crap about everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of having people actually devoted to specific sports. And so I think because the Striker was a soccer-specific publication, it is such a bummer to lose that, because you want, as fans of this stuff, you want to read from people that care about it and are as passionate about it as you are. And so that's why I think it's such a bummer.
Yeah, and not only that, it's not just like Central Texas. It was like all over Texas.
Yeah, they really.
I think they were also sponsors. The Austin FC sponsors.
No, they were.
There was some sort of.
I don't believe that.
I thought. I don't know.
Doubt that, but
don't get us in trouble here, Dom. You're trying to have a nice little.
But going back to that, I mean, the Striker covered USL as well.
Yes, their San Antonio FC coach. Very good.
Mr. Check, Jonathan Check
does a great job.
San Antonio FC. Jose Rodriguez, we covered El Paso.
Yes, I did read
Locomotive. Had a guy covering RGV Toros. So it was pretty wide, and they were starting obviously to cover the women's soccer scene as well. So it's unfortunate we don't have that coverage, central coverage anymore. All those guys are still going to do their job. They're still going to cover San Antonio, El Paso, all these other places. It's just it'll be a little harder to find now, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately not have it all in one space. David, any final thoughts on the Striker and just how they will be missed?
I mean, they're very missed. I mean, the job they did, and it was amazing. I mean, as you say, very few outlets are there to cover Austin FC.
I know you're someone that subscribes to so many things. You just have so many subscriptions. So
many sources.
I'm sure you're a very much a committed, active subscriber.
No, well, I was very not. But
every now and then they post a free one.
But I did read a lot of the free articles. Yeah.
You read up to the point where it says, "Please log in." Then you read. So you read the beginning of the
little first paragraph.
Yeah, the first
paragraph. Got the gist of the article.
Yeah.
But on that note, I mean,
it's just hard to pay. It's hard to pay.
It's hard. It's hard.
I had to pay an Uber today to make it here because I didn't have a car yet.
Hey. I know all about that life, man.
Yeah,
that's a tricky one.
No joke. It's like, okay, if I had the money, I would do it, but I don't.
Don't know how you guys are gonna get home, but.
Hey, I got my car this week.
Oh, you got your car? Okay, all right.
I'll be the Uber driver.
But I mean, it was a loss that was felt. I mean, the guys from Extra Time even tweeted about it, that they were they shouted out the Striker a couple times in their shows, and when the news came out that they were on hiatus, even some of those guys kind of lamented its status. So it'll be a loss, but we'll get by, I suppose.
Yeah, hey, you still got Club Deportes.
Yes,
at the very
absolutely.
least, you got Futbol En Vivo, you got FC TV, you got Club Deportes.
Yeah, and Phil's still gonna report from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's still entrenched in there. So.
Yeah, and so speaking of, Bill West, his debut newsletter for Verde All Day, it broke down the 7 players on Austin FC who are going to be eligible for free agency after the 2023 season.
Right.
of these 7 players, all but one, Ethan Finley, have a club option for 2024. So the club could essentially just exercise that option to keep the player on the team. With Finley, it would take, I guess, a whole new contract to be established. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a game.
Okay.
It's going to be called Keep 'em or Ditch 'em.
Okay.
Still workshopping the title, but that's what it's called for.
Keep him or
Ditch 'em. You're kicking him to the curb, David. All right.
Let me stop you right there. Ditch them all.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh,
Ditch 'em
okay.
all.
Well, that's gonna be a pretty short. We got
Finley.
an hour. We got an hour to fill here. Jorge.
Next.
So let's start. I think we can spit as long or as short on any of these players.
Let's stretch it out.
But I mean, it's hard because let's say when you say I would keep it, or you mean Wolf should keep it.
Well, okay. Well, this is
interesting point.
interesting point. But let's start with you. What you,
Well,
David Alvarez.
Yeah.
Coach Alvarez.
As
what
a coach,
would you
I
say?
would. Yeah, I would. Tell you.
Let's go
Okay,
there first.
Don't hold back, David. Give us your real opinion on this.
Yeah, I
You
give
know?
real
And
opinion.
in fact-
Not what I
in
want
fact-
for the team.
In fact, let's do this. Your opinion and what you think Wolf would do.
Okay, yeah. You give
Okay,
it's
let's
Burrell,
go.
really. It's really Burrell. Like,
Okay.
ultimately
Burrell.
making the
Sure.
call here.
Let's make it.
Yeah,
Wolf, I'm
let's
sure.
teamwork.
let's turn it around here a little bit.
Okay.
You and Austin FC.
Okay. I like that.
Okay.
I like that, Jorge.
If I'm Austin FC, okay.
Okay, first name on the list, Will Bruin. A couple of stats on Will Bruin. I'm going to give the age of these players going into the 2024 season. So Will Bruin will be 33 years old at the start of the 2024 season. He's got just 1 goal, 0 assists. His salary in 2023 is $200,000.
300.
200. So do you keep Will Bruin or do you ditch him?
I keep him.
You keep Will Bruin.
Yeah.
Okay. I would ditch Will Bruin. Love the guy.
I mean,
but I just don't.
the only problem I have is the age.
Yes,
The
he
age,
can only play 20
the
minutes.
age, it is a problem, and the physical. I mean, he needs to be more. I will keep him. I will keep him in shape. I will keep him ready to bleed. 33 years old, but I think it's a player that can contribute a lot. When that was a couple games ago. He got a nice pass. It was offside, but he was there scoring when we needed him to score. And a couple of times he put his body in there too. And I don't remember when the ball should have been a goal and he just fell in there. I mean, that was his bad. I'm sorry, but.
Well, if you have him working out a lot, he may not have that asset.
But
going
I
forward,
like
if you will.
I like what he brings in terms of we don't have many forwards, and he brings the size, which is that size we don't have up front. We don't have that size. That's for me is the number one thing.
I think you bring up some interesting points. I like pretty much everything we've seen from Will Bruin. We just haven't seen enough of it because he can only play in 20 to 25 minute bursts. And I agree. Yeah, maybe a good workout regimen, but at 33, you don't usually start getting more.
Yeah,
So
you
don't
need to
get
be.
more.
Usually happen.
At 33, you need to be starting. You need to be starting, and then that's it. No, you cannot be a backup.
Where do you?
Unless you're gonna score, like you're gonna be scoring in the second half all the time, right?
Yeah, I think you bring a good point there, David. But where do you stand on Will Bruin?
I think I agree with you, but because of that, I would keep him. This is because we have not seen enough of him, but the problem is I think that they keep switching between Urruti and Zardes. They don't give him a chance. Where do you start him? I mean, it's very hard to insert him in a spot because he seems to be the third string forward behind those two guys, and if those two guys are already playing,
That we don't
well,
see.
what do we see? What do we see from him?
Yeah.
I mean,
I see him on the warm-ups.
I'm sure he's a great practice player,
Like
but
always there.
but I'm not saying that he's not producing, but he's just not given a chance to
So
produce.
you think keep
So-
and you want to see an enhanced role for him?
Keep an enhanced role.
Okay,
Not as a starter, but just give him a couple
Yeah,
more
okay.
chances.
So we've got 2 keeps and 1 ditch
Yeah, okay.
on Will Bruin. Okay, let's
All
keep
right.
it on the forward line here. Maxi Urruti, also to be 33 years old when 2024 starts. He's got just 1 goal this season, and his 2023 salary is $700,000. Of note, that 1 goal has come on 23 shots. That is a bad ratio.
Bad percentage.
For me, I was going to about ditch. This is an easy one. That's a lot of money that Urruti's making.
Yeah.
He's not justifying it. I think easy. No
Yeah,
way.
whatever he contributes in the field does not justify $700K per season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ditch him.
Yeah, I think
Because he has been given not only sometimes a starter, but sometimes the super sub role. And either way, he still doesn't produce.
700,000 is a lot
Yeah,
for a super sub.
and it's not happening.
So you want my opinion about
I
that?
would love your opinion, David. Would you keep Maxi Rudy or would you ditch Maxi
If
Rudy?
I would be a coach, I would keep him. I would keep him. Because
I thought we were going to be unanimous. You're
I wanted to be unanimous because of the age factor. Of course, 33 years old.
Again.
You're kind of the ageist on the show. You know, when someone reaches a certain age, you're just done with it.
That's the age is the main factor because he's also not up to that challenges which to be over 30 and be really in shape like Cristiano Ronaldo is at 37, something like that. But with 700 million followers on Instagram. But anyways, Urruti, I don't know how many followers he has, but he has shown some very good characteristic. He's really good. I think
Moments.
good to talk. He talks very well, and he's very proficient in English. I mean, those are things that you need to consider. And he has been good in some against LFC. He scored against LFC.
Well, I think us three can talk well. Can we go play for Austin FC?
I
I think us three talk pretty well. Can we go play for Austin FC?
mean, no.
I think it's about
No, but I'm
talking,
saying
though.
that, yeah, okay. Let's move on quick. Okay, yeah, let's not have.
So are you keeping Maxi Rudy?
I mean, it's just like it depends because like when he plays I would keep him because I would play in a different way. But the way that Austin plays, keep out right now.
So they're not using it correctly.
No, they're not using it as it could be used.
Okay.
So yes, in that perspective, out right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ditch.
Yeah.
Keep with an asterisk. We'll go. With
Yeah,
that.
keep
You're
it.
making
If I would be the
you're making
with
it
an asterisk.
You're making it complicated on me, David. But okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep it on the forward line. Ethan Finley. So Ethan Finley does not have an option for next season. Austin FC would have to do a whole new contract. But Ethan Finley will also be 33 years old. He's got 4 goals, 4 assists. His 2023 salary is $425,000. So possible you might have to up that. If you're wanting to keep him. 425,000. So Ethan Finley, this is a tricky one.
Because he has been producing lately.
He has been, right?
Lately,
I'll
he
let
has
you
been
start, Debbie,
producing.
before I give my take, because I'm still trying to decide what I want to do here. So we'll start with you. Give your opinion on this one.
I mean, he really surprised me because he acknowledged he had an ACL, injury, recently. So it's another negative for somebody that's
At 33,
years
absolutely.
old. But I mean, I was very surprised how smart he was, talking to him after the game, and the way he had played. I mean, he has been a factor in many of the goals.
Oh yeah.
And the non-goals too. But right now, and I think he reminded me a little bit of Urruti in the way he expressed himself in the conference. But he's very confident about the game. He knows a lot about the game, and he seems like you're talking to a coach when you talk to him. So that's that's the way when he expressed what happened in the field. It gives you a lot of insights, and I really like that approach, and I'm sure he does it with all these players that he played with. So I think I would keep him.
Okay. What about you?
I'd keep him.
Okay.
I'd keep him. Pretty much the same reasons David says. He's got experience. He knows his limitations. He knows what he can and what he cannot do. Mm-hmm. He's not a speedster, but can he get to a spot when asked of him? Yes. He showed it in the Juarez game by scoring that goal. And so he puts himself in successful positions where he can contribute to the play of the game.
Yeah.
And so for that price, I mean, you mentioned that if they do resign him, it'll probably need to be for a higher price.
I think it'll probably be for a higher price,
But I mean, we're not talking another million or anything like that.
Yeah,
Probably
I don't think
another 100,000 or something. I still keep him.
Yeah, I think I actually agree. I think we're going to be unanimous on this one. As you're trying to bridge, the first era of Austin FC to Burrell's ultimate vision, you need players to kind of help bridge that gap.
Right.
And at Finley seems like a guy that can do that. The
Yes.
age is a concern. I wouldn't go more than 2 years on a contract.
No.
But look, like he was very good last season. 4 goals, 4 assists. He had 5
Yep.
and 5 last season, so he's on pace to better his performance from last season. So no sign that he's slowing down yet.
No.
I sign him to 2 years and just fingers crossed that he's able to hold up
Yeah.
for the duration of
That's
that.
probably fair.
Who's next, Balundis?
Okay, no, David, no. In case you missed it, he was actually traded recently.
Really?
Let's
must have missed
go.
that.
Here's an interesting one. Alex Ring. All right, he's 32 years old. He has no
33.
goal. Well, 32 according to the Verde All Day newsletter, David. So I'm going.
Man,
off of
the
our
team
man
is really
Phil.
old, man.
And well, these free agents, they are. They've got some miles on their legs. He's got no goals, no assists, but he's primarily playing as a defender, so I don't think we should hold that against him. His 2023 salary, $1.5 million. He is, of course, a designated player.
Yeah.
Can play in midfield, obviously. Can play in defense. Jorge, Alex Ring, yay or nay? Keep or ditch?
Ditch.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much from before the season started, things looked bad for him.
Yeah.
Being demoted from captain is one thing, but being demoted from the starting lineup is another. That 2 notches, and that plus add to the fact that his family is not living here with him at the moment.
Just doesn't seem like a guy that wants to be
It
here.
doesn't seem like a guy that's planning a long-term stay, and so I think Austin FC realizes that they probably are going to lose him. So
Yeah.
might as well make it official.
It's a bummer. Credit to Ring, I think, for actually having a really good season, playing a position that's not his natural position, and the credit is
Absolutely.
professionalism when it seems like, yeah, he kind of has 1 foot already back in Finland. But, yeah, I think mainly because it seems like the players' wishes to go ahead and move on. And yeah, I am ditch as well. David, what's your take?
I mean, his historical figure, you know, he was part of the first Austin FC.
First ever captain at Austin FC.
First
right?
ever captain. So,
captain.
I mean, if I were a big coach, I would keep him, but, you know, I'm not going to
You have to convince him because he seems
I'm
like he
not
wants
the
to
coach.
and
leave.
it
Another
doesn't
coach.
look like he and
But
Wolf are on the same page.
The
as
fact
well.
that he's playing in a position that there's not much space for him in the team anymore, and he already fulfilled his role as an experienced player in a young team when we had him. So
Yeah.
I think his role has been fulfilled already, and it's time to move on.
Okay, so you're
Unfortunately,
a
yeah.
ditch as well. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
we're
mean-
3 for 3.
Yeah.
We're finding some agreement here. Okay, let's move on. Here's an interesting one. Adam Lundqvist, 29. He's got 2 assists across 698 minutes. His 2023 salary is $350,000. This is an interesting one for me. To me, he's only looked good in that back 3 system where he's playing as a wingback.
It depends how they use him.
If you're
Yeah.
not going to play that formation going forward, we haven't seen much of that formation of late. And I think if you're not playing that, there's not a ton of reason to keep him because he's not looked comfortable in a back 4.
Right.
And you also have Jean Kolmanic, presumably that should be coming back by next season. So there's not really a whole lot of reason, I don't think, to keep him around. So for me, it's ditch with an asterisk of if you plan on going back to the 3-4-3, then yeah, he could be a player of some use. But what do you think?
I'm there with you. We've seen very little of him throughout the season. I expected more from him once the kid from Slovenia got injured, Kolmanic, and I've seen less of him.
Yeah, that's not a good sign, right?
Not a good
Going in the
sign.
wrong direction there.
And then we saw Leo Varsanen go down. We saw even less of him. So there's 2 guys in the back line.
Only 698 minutes, not a lot of minutes. We're
And-
23 matches into the season, so that's a low number of minutes.
Yeah, that's a low number, and I think you hit the nail on the head that the formation of back 4 just does not suit him.
Yeah.
He's more of a 3.
He wants to get forward.
He wants to go forward, and I, by the 2 assists that he's given, very good assists by the way.
Oh yeah, he looked good as a wingback. Really
He
good.
looks pretty good in that position, but for the salary that he's getting, for the minutes that he's getting, and the contributions that he's giving, no, he's probably a ditch.
David, do you know who Adam Lundqvist is?
I have no idea. I have no idea. How many minutes did he play for the team?
He's played 698 minutes. So you're forgiven if you don't know who he is.
No, I mean, I was like, dude, I don't know.
He's had to look it
I can
up.
tell you look a little confused
Like,
over there.
Who's that guy?
Beat him, man.
So if you don't even
if
know
you
who
don't
he
know
is,
it is,
you
just
probably
beat
gotta.
him, man.
I probably
Okay,
did.
so you met unanimous again. We're on the same
Yeah.
page on a lot of these.
I was
Okay.
like, what's that,
Okay. The last one's gonna be an easy one, but let's go. Memo Rodriguez. We don't even know the guy yet. He's 28 years old, or he's going to be 28 years old. 1 goal.
Oh,
one
that's
assist.
Adam Sandler.
That's Adam Sandler.
not Chris.
Different. Don't get your Adams confused.
Different guy.
Oh, I thought it was that guy.
No.
It's that dude.
But Memo Rodriguez, he's, 1 goal, 1 assist with the Galaxy. He's had 12 appearances, 9 of them starts. His 2023 salary is $180,000, so pretty low salary.
Yeah.
For me, I
But there's a new kid that we haven't seen it.
we haven't seen. So
Yeah, we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in this system
yeah.
with Austin FC.
Well,
so,
let's not talk about him then.
For me, like
but his contract's still up.
the decision
So we
has
have
to
to
be
talk
made.
about it.
So we
Okay,
got to
but,
talk about it.
You guys are the business guys.
No, well, to be fair, I would hold judgment. I don't know. We have not seen anything.
The
from
same
him.
thing with little Adam Linklater or something.
But he's been here all season, so he's had the chance to do that, and it just hasn't.
For me,
Kind of like Will Bruin a little bit.
for me,
yeah,
I
we don't
I
see
think
those guys that
We
much.
don't see that, guys.
you're going to lose Ring more than likely.
Right.
Owen Wolf looks to be leaving the team soon. I think once.
PSV keeps
Hey,
coming up.
let's
don't know.
not make any assumptions. No assumptions with
Well,
this shit. It's like
we got time to fill up. We got to make a few
Yeah, we got to
assumptions.
talk about something, man.
Danny Pereira, I think, is probably also going to be on his way once the visa situation gets sorted.
Once the visa situation gets sorted, yeah.
I think very little of Johan Valencia, despite my Colombia shirt right now. Just don't think he's very good.
Has not made the transition well.
Yeah, Soufiane Deval, I'm optimistic about, but in no way think you could go into next season saying he's a guy that could give you significant minutes.
He's not
today.
a building block. I don't think.
Exactly. So at the very least, yeah. Again, I think let's see what he can do, Memo. But I'm more open than not to keeping him because his numbers for the Galaxy actually look pretty good. When
It's
you look
not
at his,
bad for the salary that he's earning. I'd keep him. I mean, for that low of price, an unknown quantity. Sure, let's see what he's got. I mean, he's got local ties again. I hate to bring it up again and again and again, but you seem to play better when you're kind of a local guy.
That's true.
So he's going to be playing in front of fans, guys that he probably grew up with, his mom's here in El Campo, so it's like a 2-hour drive or something like that. So he might have incentive to stay around for a while. So
Yeah,
we'll see what he does.
I think that's a good point as well. David, do you have any opinion on Memo Rodriguez?
well, I don't know that dude.
You don't know. Okay.
Another guy.
So we've got keep, don't know who he is. Okay. So
Okay.
one.
Well, how would I talk about?
It's hard to assess.
I haven't seen him play.
I think
I
you
agree.
you bring up a very good point, David. But unfortunately, we are hosts of a show that is a talk show, so we have to
You
talk.
have to talk about it.
So that's kind of the key. So Jorge and I have done our best to form some
So
opinions.
I don't know. It's not a good.
I saw some Memo Rodriguez scoring to the rainbow, but I don't know other Memo Rodriguez, man.
Is that the right guy?
Yeah, I had no idea where to go with that one. Okay, one final name on the list. This is an interesting one. Hector Jimenez. How old do you think Hector Jimenez
He's
is?
34.
Okay, he's 35. He's going to be 35.
He's 35. Okay.
To be honest, I had no idea he was that old.
I
For
did.
some reason, I thought he was like in his early 20s or something.
No,
But he is.
he's been around a while.
Yeah, so he's had just 2 appearances this season. He's on an $85,000, 444 contract. So that's
85,000? Are you
that's-
sure?
That's hey.
Was he
the
making
Verde
it-
all day, man. That's
He's
what it's
making 85,000.
Yep.
I'll keep him. I mean,
So
Well, you're not. I mean, yeah, that's cheap.
that's for a guy with that much experience. And he
that
didn't play all that badly last year.
No,
He filled in courageously.
I mean, he's
but
mostly running in the warm-ups. He just did a little warm-up, but he never
Put a lot of stock in those warm-ups.
Yeah, he's a probably a good practice guy. But
it's a bench warm-up.
I don't know if I read it on Phil's Stack article or just on Twitter or somewhere somebody mentioned it. But he'd probably be a good player coach.
Yeah, Phil did mention that in his Substack. Yeah, so you guys, I was.
If you want another voice out there, voice of experience.
No, yeah, it's too old, maybe 35. It's way too old.
But if you're gonna pay him as a coach player, I would do it. But just as a player,
no.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see a ton of
no,
future.
That age. Yeah, if you turn 30, you're out for me, man. You're not good. If you turn 30,
so all of these,
even Messi.
Well, that's different because Messi just walks now. He doesn't run.
He scored 8 goals in 5 games, man.
But you see how he walked, like the other goal he scored. What was the goal? He just was walking and
he just tapped it in.
All the defenders start opening so he can score a goal.
Yeah, little.
Did you see that?
Hey, when you're the GOAT, they just open.
They open up and
they
I was like, where's that defense?
That is weird.
Hey, where's Pitbull? Pitbull would never let Messi move.
Pitbull,
the Chilean defender.
Okay.
He's not in MLS, man.
No, I'm just saying if people will never let him do what he does in the MLS.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
We're gonna get
you
to
bring
Messi.
up a good point.
Okay, yeah, you actually do, David. But yeah, we'll get to Messi Leagues Cup in just a moment. Before we preview the St. Louis match, I want to touch on a comment we received on our YouTube channel. So we unfortunately do not get that many comments. So if you leave
if you leave a comment, we'll see it.
We'll see it because it's not hard to miss.
No.
So and I encourage comments.
Yes, we do.
Because positive, negative.
Comment on Twitter, on X. I'm sorry. Twitter anymore.
It'll always be Twitter.
Whatever the hell it is. Stitch or whatever that other one that we use.
Threads.
Threads. Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram. We'll read it.
So this I think was a really interesting comment. So this is based on our conversation last week on Josh Wolf and on Austin FC's over performance in Rodolfo, overachieving in Rodolfo Borrell's words. So I am going to that bottom one right there. And I actually have it because I can't read that, so I actually wrote it down. So because that my eyes are not that good.
Yeah.
But I highlighted a couple of.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so a couple of key passages here. Regal Pinguino 5116. This is who this comment comes from. This could be a burner account for you, David. Don't know. But this comment says the expected goal differential points to the players overachieving, not Wolf. There's some other stuff in there, but the other key point I think that Regal Pinguino brings up is that Josh can't take credit for season 2 because the expected goal differential stat proves he wasn't putting the players in position to score, but they found a way anyway. So there's a couple of interesting nuggets in there. And first off, thank you to Regal Pinguino for watching the show.
Also, I'd like to address that last comment there.
Ah, yes. That's calling you out there, right?
Yeah.
That's a reference to you there.
We'll compare.
Okay. But a couple of interesting things there. So, thank you for watching the show, and thank you for feeling compelled enough to comment on it. But, David, I want to ask you, this last part that I just read right there, the expected goal differential stat proves that Wolf wasn't putting the players in position to score, but they found a way anyway. I want to ask you, as a coach, you set up your game plan. What happens on the field? Like, how much of an influence do you really have on what your players do on the field? Because it's not like American football, where you call a play and you have a set route that you're running, or basketball, where there's a very clear delineation between who's on offense and who's on defense. You can have set plays. Soccer is very fluid. It's a fluid game. So that once the players are actually out on the field, the coach isn't like a puppet master controlling all of their movements. I just wondered how much influence does a coach actually have? So you're a coach. How much influence do you have, David?
I mean, it just depends. It depends on the coach and the team, because the coach have a lot to say. like some coaches, the ones I kind of like to say, they're always talking. They're always talking to the players during the
Like
during
Antonio
the game.
Conte, he's always
Antonio Conte, like Marcelo Bielsa, all the Argentinians, pretty much. They like to be telling the player Guardiola, for
Guardiola.
Klopp. They're always in
Even
top.
a 2-goal Holland,
Always
he gave
on
him
top
a,
of
he gave
it.
him a tongue lash.
When the other coaches, they just sit down and relax and they don't, and then get up sometimes. So
What do you do?
I get up and I don't stop.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear that.
I want to make sure the guys don't make the error because you plan the game, right? And you teach him and you tell him, okay, this is the way I want you guys to play the game, right? I mean, I'm not going to be playing for you guys, but I want to make sure that you do whatever.
You put in a position to succeed.
Exactly, and you have some rules of thumb, like soccer 101. Like, what do you do on the free kicks? How do you do the set pieces? When do you make the substitutions? What substitutions are you making, and why is the reason why you're making it, and when are you making it? So it's what, when, where. Penalty kicks, same thing. Penalty kick is sacred. It's like you have to practice soccer penalty every time you can. Okay, because it's just a different thing, different subject pretty much, because it's so important. If you want to be in an upper league, if you're in the lower league, it's different.
So if I'm hearing you correctly here, David, you're saying the coach does in fact have a pretty strong role.
Yeah.
So if I go to watch,
You can say, for example, the Chilean team that won the Copa America in 2016 Copa Bicentenario, that coach did not have much to say with that team. Maybe some of his, but the team was already made before. PC didn't know anything. So that's a good example. You have Sampaoli the year before 2015 being a very active coach that decided you knew every time he would make a substitution, he's gonna make a goal and keep the. It's never gonna go back when you're winning. Those teams never go back. They're trying to score another goal, never trying to hold back. So that's the way I see it, right? Okay. But in Chile, that happened. You have the excellent team, excellent coaching, and then the next year we still won Copa America. Right? With an awful coach.
Same roster.
That he went to Saudi Arabia and didn't do
so
anything.
Here's an interesting stat here. So there's a book called Soccernomics. Really excellent book by Simon Cooper and Stefan Zemansky. Don't know if I said those names right. Book's very good, though. Really excellent. And so they looked at data. I mean, they looked at data going way back for the top 5 European leagues. And what they determined is that 89% of where a club finishes in the standings is determined by the wage bill. So
the what?
The wage bill, how much they're paying their players, the salary.
Oh, okay.
So what that suggests is that coaches could only really possibly be responsible for 11% of a team's performance. So that suggests that the coaches actually don't matter a whole heck of a lot, according to this study.
Okay.
So that's something that MLS is different because there's a salary cap, so it's not necessarily a direct correlation between wages and where you finish. But I think talent is really what it's after. So.
I mean, it is really important, and you can see it. Like,
so if I go to one of your games, Avi, and a player does something like just dribbles the ball out of bounds, I can yell at you for them doing that because the coach has such an influence.
Yeah, especially every time you do a throw in back to the back. Yeah, you can yell at me because every time you do a pass, don't ever do a throw in or a pass backwards in this half of the field. Never, unless you really have to give a pass back.
Everybody's covered.
Because there's always you're gonna the chance that you're gonna mess it up. And that's happened many times. So that's why I told my players, never do that. Never throw in backwards. Always forward. If you want to do a throw in, do like a corner. Every time.
I think you're 100% right about that. But what if the player doesn't do that? So do I blame the player or do I blame you?
If the player doesn't do it, just move the player out.
And you take the player out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who's the boss?
And if he consistently does it, though.
Hey, you need to be in a team. I mean, the coach and the technical staff need to be in charge. You cannot have situations where the players want to make the substitution or they don't want to sub when they have to. Remember Kepa?
There he is. There he is, right there.
Remember Kepa? When
I do.
substitute?
I
No,
do remember.
You cannot do that.
So one final point. If we go back to the original part of this comment, we're kind of going backwards here, but the expected goal differential points to the players overachieving. And yeah, we mentioned the stat last week. Austin FC, they finished second in the MLS Western Conference in 2022, but had a negative 1.7 expected goal differential, which was actually 8th in the West.
Right.
So not that great. But if you actually look at their expected goal differential from 2021, it was negative 15.1. So that's a pretty big improvement that Austin FC had in year 2. And if you look at the roster, it didn't change a ton. You had a full season of Driussi in 2022. He featured in 17 matches in 2021. You added Arruti, you added Finley, a couple of good but not necessarily exceptional players. I think the biggest addition was probably Ruben Gabrielson in the back line. I think that was pretty massive.
Yep.
But overall, pretty similar roster, and he oversaw a near 15 expected goal differential. I actually think that Wolf did a pretty decent job in 2022, is what I'm saying. So.
Well, and going back to that comment, I mean, when you start a season,
You mean 8th place is a good job?
Well, when you're negative 15.1, you don't overhaul the roster, and you go to negative 1.7. That's pretty good. Okay. Although I have just said that the coach maybe doesn't actually matter all that much. So my whole point.
It's the main point. Is like, are you overachieving? Yes or not? Are you really overachieving in the second year?
Austin FC overachieved relative to their performance in 2022, but they did improve legitimately in 2022 from their performance in 2021.
Oh yeah.
And my stance on Wolf,
but the question is, what kind of improvement is it? It's like
a lot of improvement. Negative 15.1 to negative 1.7.
Well, to be in 8th place of some of your numbers, is that good?
That's not great, but it's much better than what it was.
I mean, it's better.
But I mean, is it how easy or hard is it to improve from where you were to 8th or to 2nd?
Without a significant change in roster, which is what I'm getting at. That I don't know how much influence Wolf has really had on this team. If you have an issue out as you're performing, I think it is more about the roster than it is the coach. Is ultimately
it's not the roster.
What I'm saying. It's more about the roster.
But who picks the roster?
That's not Wolf.
It's not Wolf.
Not Wolf.
Okay. So
I'm supposing it's Wolf, but I mean, at the time it was Claudio Reyna.
After 2.5 years,
which I believe we had another comment that pointed out that Reyna should be receiving more blame. I agree with that comment.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the point of view that we overachieved because of Driussi, mostly. And we got lucky. And we got lucky with those goals, in the first half. But when we already qualified, we show who we were. The same team as the year before. So not much of an improvement. We were like awful before the playoff. Because we were already in there.
And we talked about this before.
The team was awful.
The last third of the season was just like the first season. Yeah. They could not score a goal to save their lives. And they were just awful. It took them a long.
After we qualified,
they went so far ahead at the first 2/3 of the season that it looked like they could slack off, and they did.
They were always looking for new things to do when you
trying things.
And the coach have to do that because the coach is the one that decided to put these different
he had to maintain the fire.
Inconsistent players.
Yeah, he had to maintain the fire, and it wasn't. It
I
didn't
think
look
it's
like he was doing it.
consistent. I mean, there's no overachieving from my point of view. I don't see no overachieving. I see constant work that.
Well, again, the numbers show that there was improvement from 2021
No,
to 2022.
it's improvement.
It was improvement.
But improvement, if I would be the owner of the team, he's out. He's out.
Well, I mean,
he would have been out the first year.
My overarching point here is I think you would probably agree with me here. I don't think we've seen enough evidence to suggest whether Wolf is.
You are more like Borrell. You are like Borrell.
A terrible coach.
You are Borrell.
I think if the issues with Austin FC are not related to coaching, I think it's more about the players, and I think that's kind of where I stand on it. I think the key thing with Wolf is that he has a playing style that matches with the sporting director, and I think that is.
Is the coach need to take they need to. It needs to take all ownership, full ownership of the team. So you never have to say something like that. You can never say that if the coach is not a big factor on the equation.
The numbers suggest it's only 11%.
Well, those are your numbers that are like
So
the number from one source. Like one source is saying that, but it's just a speculation.
I mean no,
It's a speculation.
That's not speculation. That is data that showed you spend
It's
this
a data that we can speculate on.
And that kind of ties into what I wanted to address.
Okay, what do
the
you
last
got?
comment that Real Pinguino said about that Josh Wolf is no Jimmy Johnson. Totally agree.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
But once they hired Jimmy Johnson, sorry, twisting a little bit. We're not talking about soccer anymore.
Slow news.
The first year, Cowboys won one game. One. They were 1-15. Second year, they improved. They went to 7-9, missed the playoffs. I think they missed the playoffs.
That's the parallel.
Familiar.
Your point of view, they would have fired his ass.
The what?
They would have fired him after the second year.
They fired? No.
No, they didn't. But your point of view, they would have fired him. Because there was improvement, but not much improvement.
There was a
They were
Dallas
mid-table.
Cowboys in Vivo.
Oh,
You would have been
yeah.
on it.
I mean, I got your point. It's really good point. And last week too, with the other example, football are a good example. But the thing that they're missing is that Austin FC is not a big team at the Dallas Cowboy. It's,
Well, of course
it's a
not.
third-year
No.
team. It's a pretty new team that, like, a team to do that.
Right.
Like, let's see Chelsea, for example. It's a team that do it. They're making how many coaches they have in 2 years and the same amount.
3 coaches in 1 year.
And the same amount of George Wolf.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. They were
It didn't
still
work.
bad.
It didn't work.
It
It didn't work.
But
It
they
didn't work.
But those are example of teams that are very successful at big teams. Austin FC is a small little team with 20,000 people at P2 Stadium. It's not a big team. We lose all the games when we play outside, the international games. We lose every single tournament. So that's what we're famous for. We're not, and we're famous to keeping a coach that is not successful. That's what we're famous for.
Okay. I have a feeling we will have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, let's disagree to agree, man.
okay,
Isn't it the same
that
thing?
works. That works as well. That works as well. Now we've looked in the past enough this week,
Yeah.
guys. Let's look ahead because
Yeah,
there will be
man,
Austin
that's
FC will be playing a game this Sunday.
Against St.
I
Louis.
will be at this game in St. Louis on Sunday, 8:30. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun
Sunday?
this Sunday.
Isn't that your hometown?
It is my hometown.
It is your hometown.
It is my hometown. I will be neutral in the state.
You will be neutral.
I am my
I
hometown.
thought you
It's
were
the
half
team
will
I
be
have.
divided.
Yeah, the half Austin FC.
I'm going to go half and
half.
half. I think that's what I'll do. Austin FC hat, St. Louis shirt. We'll
There
see
you
how
go.
it goes. But okay, St. Louis, they are first in the West, so having a pretty good season. Very good season, really, considering what their expectations were. They got a plus 16 goal differential. You will note, David, a minus 0.7 expected goal differential. So perhaps some overachieving in St. Louis. There is a, I think you can say it. Klaus was a menace to Austin FC in Austin. I tried to get any kind of update on his injury status. He's been injured for a while. I'm not sure if he's going to play. If he plays, I think this is a really tough game for Austin FC. If he doesn't play, I do actually think this is a winnable fixture for Austin FC. How do you guys see this match playing out? We'll start with you, Jorge.
They both went out pretty early in Leagues Cup.
Yes, both
So
embarrassed. I think
they
you
have,
could
they
say.
have a lot of they had a lot of downtime. Of note is Austin FC did play a scrimmage against NYCFC at Q2.
I heard about that. Yes.
So I don't know the score. I don't know who played. I don't know anything. So
When I saw those highlights going through, I actually thought it was images from the Mazatlan Juarez game.
probably.
It was actually no.
It was New York.
So they've used their time wisely. It's such a long layoff for both teams that it's hard to see which one of the two is gonna
I have no idea.
take
what's going
advantage.
on.
Especially, obviously, it's gonna be the first game back without Fagundes for Austin FC. So they don't have that safety valve anymore, if you will, for the front. So yeah, I don't see Austin FC being very successful.
Okay.
Away.
Okay, so you're
At
going
least for
L,
the
or
first
you're
time.
going L?
I'm going L. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It'll be
wow.
it'll be 2-0, unfortunately, I think.
Wow, we can count on you for the optimism, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
We know we're gonna get pessimism from this guy.
It depends on the psyche of the team, how it affected them, how it affected the players losing a Fagundes. We know how it affected the fans very deeply. In fact, I've heard rumors that they're going to do something for the next Q2 game, so watch out for that. But for the St. Louis away, after such a long layoff, and then they do have a little. They've had a week now to absorb it. So, out of what I say, out of sight, out of mind. So they'll adjust, but I don't see it. I really don't.
Okay, so you're going 2-0, David.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Optimism. What's your take? What is your prediction for Austin FC versus St. Louis City?
I have two predictions. Where's the chicken of indecisiveness? It's right here.
Oh yeah,
it's
right up there.
looking right down at you, man. It's looking right down at you.
But anyways, I think I think Jorge, you said it better than anybody. The team is.
What? Look at that! Look at that! There's a bit of a movement going.
But be careful with that website; it's not working.
Really?
Anyways, no, I think Austin is gonna lose.
Really?
We're gonna lose.
Wow. You got a scoreline?
I think we'll lose 3-0.
Whoa.
3-0.
Whoa.
Because honestly, if we don't have Fagundes there, and who we're gonna have? It's like you say, it was our safety valve, as you clearly said. We don't have him, and you know how thin is our defense. It's very thin. If you get any fast, big forward, we're gone. And I think St. Louis have him.
I think if Klaus plays, it could be trouble for us.
Yeah.
He doesn't play. St. Louis hasn't quite been the same team without him. They've still been picking up points, obviously, at first, but I don't think they're quite as effective without him.
But yeah, it is going to be hard. And if we do win, I will be very happy.
I will make a prediction though.
What do you got, Jorge?
I don't think Keller's going to play.
I think that's a safe bet. I think that is a very safe bet.
I don't think he's going to make the trip. But
could
be wrong. But
he's got family.
But he doesn't deserve it.
So I'm gonna go 1-1. I'm gonna be the optimist.
You're gonna be the optimist.
I'm gonna go 1-1 draw.
Okay.
I think I don't know what I think, but 1-1. That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with that.
Do the optimism.
The indecisiveness.
There you go.
I gotta wear it. Draws always get you the chicken of indecisiveness.
Yes.
Okay. We're running short on time here. We've actually done a very good
job
with nothing to discuss.
We filled it.
Somehow we've talked nearly.
I know we're talking about so much of Austin FC.
Yeah, so let's.
They haven't even played.
Well, okay, I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you want to talk about? We got Leagues Cup, we got Women's World Cup, we got Premier League. Which one do you want to talk about?
Definitely the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got, David?
Women's World Cup is in the semifinals.
That is correct. Do you have something that people can't find on Google that you'd like to
let them know there's 4 teams that have not won the World Cup.
That is true.
It'll be the first time.
Winner.
And first time winner.
And obviously there's a lot of favoritism with the locals, with the Aussies.
Indeed.
They have Sam Kerr is healthy and playing more minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we have England without James. Again, so that would be for me.
Be tough.
It's a factor that James would not be there.
I agree.
Until the final. So England without James, I don't think. You showed with Colombia. Colombia was way better than.
They should have won.
Than England.
They should have won.
They should have won. It was just they had an awful Miss Perez. I'm sorry, the goalie for Colombia was awful. She gave away the goal in the last second of the first half. And then she gave way too much space for the second goal. And then she got out of the field for no reason. And then the other keeper was not good either. He gave him the ball away. So that's a problem for Colombia with a better goalie. I mean, would have gone.
You
all the
said
way.
Yesterday at Haymaker that if they had Chile's goalkeeper, they could have
have
done it. They'd be in the
Endler.
semifinal.
Yeah, they
right?
have
Good
Endler.
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
She's a very good goalkeeper.
And that's, I think, because Sweden is such a candidate because of those 7 saves that she had.
Right.
The most,
Musovic,
the
yeah, she
most
is
saves
outstanding.
that the Swedish goalie had and against the U.S. What a game!
So it sounds like you're leaning for an Australia-Sweden final. Is that? Can I say that? I'm not putting words into your mouth.
Well, what I say that was Spain is very strong, but Spain needs to beat Sweden in the regular time because if they go to penalties,
Yeah,
you know that Sweden is going to win. Sweden already, like they say, they have a psychiatrist working specifically for penalty kicks.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Plus, we got to look at from
And the goalie. And they have a
yeah.
goalie that is like.
But look at the coach. I mean, we talk a lot about the coaching. The Spanish coach we could reasonably say is hated by the players.
That is a fair
So
statement.
so the Spanish players are playing for themselves. They could pay attention to the coach, not pay attention to the coach. They're probably ignoring the coach at the moment. So they're playing for themselves.
I mean,
so
I don't know
that
about
11% that you talk about, it's 0 right
So
now.
he's at
for
0%
that team.
influence. Okay.
I
But
mean, there's 2 players that got hurt and they did not come back for practice.
right, and so they have that
that's-
going against them as well. There's certainly friction in the team as well.
Yeah, but after they got
I mean,
beat by
kudos-
Japan, I
kudos
think they
to
woke
them.
up and they have
Yes,
lost.
absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. So I think Spain is being. I think they might win. I think they'll win. I think
over
they'll
Sweden
win.
or win the
It
whole
is
thing?
like
No,
that's what I
over
say.
Sweden.
Sweden-
In my
Spain can-
opinion,
yeah.
it's going to be Australia, Spain.
That's my pick as well.
Australia, Spain, and
Yeah, I don't see England. I don't really, honestly, I see it the same
England,
way unless Sweden goes to penalty kicks.
yeah, that's the only way. If they go into extra time and penalty kicks, yeah. Same with Spain. If Spain wins in if Spain wants to go ahead, they have to do it in regular time. Both games have to go.
Yeah.
Which is
And
amazing
you know how,
because
and that doesn't really happen very often.
No.
These games always go to
plus,
penalty kicks.
plus, I mean,
They do
look
quite
at it this way: the game that Australia won against France,
France.
it went to 13.
Yeah, it went deep in the penalty kicks.
It was deep.
7-6, I think.
And so,
Australia
like you love to say, and I totally agree with you, it's such a important part of the game that to do it twice, to win a penalty shootout twice in a row in such a stage, it's so hard to do.
Indeed.
So hard to do.
Only champions do it.
And if absolutely true. So for this next game, if it goes to penalty shots, Australia wins, they win the whole thing. It goes to show how tough they are really, mentally. How
Yeah.
fine-tuned mentally they are. Plus they have a whole country. I mean, I saw all the. They stopped the rugby match.
They
to
did.
Watch, to
Well,
watch
they
the
have
penalty
more
Aussie
shot.
people
rules,
watching.
yes.
More people watching the game.
They were
Yeah.
all
And-
over Australia.
and
they were watching.
And
the game.
I mean, they really take it really seriously for a small country like Australia. You know, they take
Such
it
a
really
huge,
seriously.
small
huge.
country.
Well, it's huge in size, but
Huge
it's
in
not-
size,
But yeah,
small.
population,
like
yeah.
Brisbane and
30
Sydney. And,
It's more than Argentina and
cities,
Colombia. You know, it's more than Peru.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
so I'm happy for them. I hope. I know.
I didn't-
I
let me
know
talk
But
to
they're
you,
so
absolutely.
proud. They're so into the
Yes.
sports. Like it's crazy. Like the winning mentality that the Australians have.
Yeah.
It's like the Uruguayan in football
Yeah. It'll
Interesting
be
comparison.
fun to watch.
and the
I like that.
Argentinian too.
Okay, so we are just about out of time here. Looks like we got 5
I
minutes.
did-
Is that what I'm
5
saying? Okay,
minutes?
5
Yeah.
minutes. David, yesterday we were at Haymaker and we watched Chelsea versus Liverpool together.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to our hey, look at that! How
There you
about
go.
those? Some good looking dudes in that
There
picture
you
right
go.
there.
Hey, that's Jens over there.
That
man.
is the Godfather himself, right there, live and in the flesh. All right, David, explain to our audience why Chelsea were the far superior team and were so unfortunate to draw this match 1-1 with Liverpool. That was your opinion, I know. You said it, Haymaker. So explain
That I
to our
thought was
audience.
superior.
You said that Chelsea were so much better. Liverpool just so lucky to get the draw. Share it with our
I mean,
audience.
I have to say that was a very, very entertaining game. It was a really well planned game. I think at the end, Pochettino did show that the team,
Under Pochettino,
it's no Lampard no more.
No.
And I think Caicedo is going to be a great addition.
That is a big
Big
deal,
news.
right?
So,
And he wanted to be there.
and I trust
Yes.
it. And I mean, I think Liverpool has. I mean, when Mohamed Salah got out of there, it was painful. It was because when Mohamed Salah is there, he's always creating danger no matter what. Every time he touched the ball, something crazy.
And he
is gonna
did not
happen.
look happy to leave.
No, he was not very happy to leave. But I think both teams are at a great level. But all the teams, I mean, after watching Nations League and then watching this Premier League, it's just like, oh my God.
So you say the Premier League is a higher level than League's Cup?
It is way higher.
Really?
Oh my God! So that the speed, I mean, they ran like everything is so much faster and precise. All the goals and this. Oh, I gotta tell you, the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, the goals have been gorgeous, beautifully done. So yeah,
So we've definitely been treated to some excellent football this month, haven't we, Doug?
excellent, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I did want to stick one thing in real quick.
Okay, what we got for it?
Yeah, okay. This came out on ESPN, and I'm just going to read it to you. I want your reaction.
Live reaction.
Inter Miami coach Gerardo Tata Martino played down a potential Lionel Messi injury after the Argentine superstars appeared to tweak his right ankle during training Monday.
Oh, today is Monday, and they have two new players
And
from
the
Argentina.
game's tomorrow.
Inter. He
you-
welcomed them.
Yeah, but more on the field. Do you start him or do you sit him?
I think if he can play, I think you have to start him. This is why you got him for games like this. Semifinal.
games like this?
He has to
No,
play.
I mean, you can do the same thing you did against Cruz Azul. Just keep him on the bench for a little bit and then put him in the second half.
That would have been my
If
suggestion.
the injury is real.
Well,
You're doubting the-
coaches are
If
going to
it-
say,
if
"Oh,
it's
he
real,
messed-
if it's
he's-
real."
it's terrible."
Because some
Yeah.
people that don't have injuries, then they come out anyway.
Yeah, they come out anyway. So, because the point of Miguelito was here, we were talking about that.
Fake news.
Not fake news.
It was ESPN. I think it was a pretty good
It's
source you had there.
ESPN. But he and I were talking, and he would sit him down.
Really?
He would sit him down, save him for the season. But to counter that, look at the season.
You got a ways.
They
got a
got
lot
a
of work to do.
long way to go, and they have actually a chance to win this team.
I mean, you win
plus,
this.
Plus, I mean, look at what would happen. What would happen? Say,
Kim Kardashian plays with.
no. Say Messi wobbles out there, and they manage to beat Philadelphia, and Monterrey beats Nashville, which is really unfair that they have to play in LA and they drive all the way across country to play in Nashville.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's tough. So but I have a feeling they'll beat Nashville.
I kind of
So
do too,
we're
yeah.
gonna see an Inter Miami Rayados game
I
in Miami.
I wouldn't sleep on Philadelphia. The way Philadelphia plays, I think actually is really a problem for Miami. That the quick,
Yes.
direct counterattacks. We saw Miami really struggle against FC Dallas against that.
It's like
specific kind of
Getafe
attack.
against Barcelona.
Yes, it is a bit like that. Barcelona struggled, right?
Yeah,
no-
they did
struggle.
struggle.
So
struggle.
I
They parked the
don't
bus.
think it's a slam dunk that Miami, with or without Messi,
Yeah,
get through
no,
this game.
yeah. I don't want to
But-
belittle the Union or anything, but looking at it from a money perspective, because everybody's conspiracy theorists now, and they all say
It's all about
this
money.
tournament. This
Everything
tournament
is
was
about
made for
money.
Messi, and all
Who
these
would've
offsides
thought? Who
for
would've
Mexican
thought?
teams, and blah blah blah, whatever. They lost. If they didn't want to get into penalty, they should have won in regulation time. So enough of the drama. So let's say the conspiracy theorists want a Rayados Messi, Inter Messi, Miami, whatever it is, in Miami.
Inter Messi.
What'll be more interesting, a Union Monterrey game or a Inter Miami Monterrey game?
I mean, that's an obvious.
It's an obvious
That's an
question.
obvious one. I mean,
So-
I'd be interested in Union.
So you
Monterrey.
don't think the coaches are going to be a little bit of protect? We talked about it a little bit when Messi scored that goal. It's like all the defenders went away from him instead of attacking him. That was weird.
That sounds like a fixed box match. Like,
I don't want to say it's
a
fixed,
guy
but
hit.
it was weird.
I'm
it
not
was,
gonna
it was
fall.
weird because
We were on co-op. I'd have to shut you down, though. I want the FCC coming after us for these kind of
yeah, we don't want to
accusations.
see about that.
We're on YouTube now.
Yeah,
Get away with that
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I this will be interesting to see. I think if he, unless this is like, a pretty severe ankle tweak,
Right.
I think he has to play, even if it is a little risky. Because I mean, the semifinal, this is why you got him.
This is why
Like
you
you
got
said, they're where they're at in the league table right now. There's no guarantee they make the postseason.
No.
So this is in many ways Inter Miami's season.
Yeah.
If
This is gonna
he-
be their highlight.
If he can play, he's got
Yeah.
to play.
This is gonna be their
So-
highlight.
He's the GOAT, and everybody let him play.
Wait,
too.
what did you just say? He's the what?
He's one of-
He used to be the GOAT.
He
It used to be.
Wait,
Hey,
wait,
that's an added word.
Because anytime Jorge and I say
we-
that, you get a little.
we have the
wound
playback.
up, David.
If
So
y'all
this
want
nigga
to
trying
play
hurt
it back
you
again,
correctly.
you can hear it again. But
No, I said it. He's actually a good GOAT.
Wow, he's actually
Yeah,
good. Lionel, going out on a limb, David. Lionel Messi is good. Wow,
He's good.
who would have thought? Okay, I think we've wasted enough of everyone's time
Yeah.
here this week. Excellent show. We did our best on a slow news week.
We filled it in.
Yes, indeed. We did do that. Okay, so thank you to our audience. Thank you to Gio, as always,
Yes.
behind the boards, doing
Thank you.
excellent work back there. Thank you to, Club Deportes. And hey, guys, we'll do this again next week. We'll have a game to discuss.
Yeah, we'll have,
That'll
to have
be
the
fun.
actual game to talk about.
All right.
Absolutely.
Viva el fútbol.